Have you ever thought about the mysteries of hell? Have you ever wondered why, at the mention of hell, people suddenly get terrified? Have you ever wondered what it is about hell that makes people uncomfortable? The concept of a location set apart for endless punishment and condemnation has repeatedly made the topic of hell notorious among people. However, what exactly is this place called hell? There are different names for hell, and although different languages refer to it by different names, such as Sheol, Hades, Tartarus, Gehenna, and the second death, none of them truly captures the depths of what hell is really like. According to the Bible, Satan and his angels were cast out of heaven. Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out unto the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. They now roam the earth without bodies. However, the devil and his minions will be cast into hell, where sinners who reject Christ will spend eternity after judgment. Hell is described as a realm of unfathomable horrors and agony, a place of eternal punishment where unrepentant sinners are sent to experience unbearable pain and sorrow forever. As stated in Matthew 25:41, Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. Prepare for the devil and his angels. Unfortunately, many people do not believe that hell is real, and they doubt if a loving God is capable of something as horrific as hell. It is a well-known fact that a location where people will gnash their teeth when the end of the day comes exists, and that location is hell. According to the Bible, it is a place of absolute darkness with a deep raging pit of fire where sinners will be cast on the day of judgment and will gnash their teeth. The saying, "Hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn," does not even come close to capturing the reality of what awaits those who are condemned to hell after judgment. In hell, there is no such thing as death, only never-ending burning and suffering. The torments are supposed to be both physical, mental, and spiritual, subjecting the souls of the damned to unfathomable misery and torture. The relentless punishment and absence of hope for redemption make it even more unbearable. The reality is that hell exists as the punishment for the disobedience of the devil and his demons. Man was never in the plan. But because man consistently gave in to the ways of the flesh, hell became punishment for his sins. And nothing, I dare say, can get one ready for such a fate. However, many have asked, what is the relationship between the wrath of God and the reality of hell? Even though unrepentant sinners will go to hell, it is also important to note that hell was never created for man, but for the angels who didn't keep their estate, according to Jude 1:6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, unto the judgment of the great day. The devil decided he would stop at nothing to drag humans along with him, knowing fully well that this is where he and his demons eternally belong. It could make one wonder how a God who is said to be the full expression of love inflicts eternal punishment on his creation. However, the answer is obvious. God did not create hell for man. Rather, it became part of man's punishment for choosing sin over God's commandments. And as a result, he will suffer eternally in hell. But that is not all the horrible fate that awaits Satan and his minions. Hell is also referred to as the second death, which is essentially losing contact with God and being completely cut off from the benefits and privileges that he alone can offer. The simplest way to conceptualize hell as the second death is found in the book of Matthew 10:28. And do not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Death on earth can only kill the body, but cannot harm the soul. But God has the power to kill the soul in hell, hence why it is known as the second death. It is humanly impossible to comprehend the Bible's description of hell. Nothing on earth can compare with it. No nightmare could produce a terror to match that of hell. No horror movie could describe its fright. No crime scene, with all its blood and gore, could begin to match its horror. The book of Revelations described it as, Revelation 20:14-15, "Then death and Hades, the realm of the dead, were thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death, the lake of fire, the eternal separation from God. And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was hurled into the lake of fire." Another terrifying truth about hell is the darkness and despair that saturate the place. A common description of hell is as a realm of complete darkness and hopelessness. There, unrepentant sinners are consigned to an eternity of unspeakable horrors, estranged from God's love and presence, perpetually alone and filled with shame and regret that becomes their companion. Because God is a God of balance, hell ultimately serves as a reminder that while God is merciful and forgiving, he also has a side that punishes unrepentant sinners. Since Christ's death was intended to bring salvation to humanity, rejecting that sacrifice is equivalent to rejecting the grace that God bestowed on mankind after the first fall in the Garden of Eden. As such, man must bear the consequences of his decision. The way it's written in the book of Matthew 7:23, "And then I will declare to them publicly, I never knew you. Depart from me. You are banished from my presence. You who act wickedly, disregarding my commands." Man, by rejecting the salvation of Christ, has made the devil's objective of cutting us away from God's love a walk in the park, knowing fully well that the wages of sin is death in hell. The devil's goal is simple. Man must spend eternity with him and his demons in hell, wallowing in darkness, loneliness, regrets, and torment for all eternity. Although God is patient, evil will not stand. We choose to be apart from the one who gives life when we make decisions that defy the very nature of God. Sometimes the lies we tell ourselves might interfere with the truth, because we would prefer to live in denial than confront the reality of what is ahead. As the end of the beginning draws near, it is impossible to ignore the existence of hell. Also, remembering that hell is real and that no man may be able to express the horrors of hell, or even come close to telling the fate that awaits any man who is unfortunate enough to make hell. Living in reverence to God should be a daily habit. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. To get notified of any new videos, hit the notification button so you don't miss out on any new content.